So earlier this week we discussed sort of the transition from the Battle of Sigma Octantis IV to the Battle of Reach, and today I want to talk about the opening blows of the Battle of Reach, sort of informally known as the Battle of Visegrad. Let's talk about the attack on the Visegrad relay. I'm Colin, and this is Sci-Fi Deep Dive. Remember, if you enjoyed this video, to head down below and hit that subscribe button. Halo Reach's campaign starts out with a mission to go to Visegrad to investigate suspicious activity. That would become known as the Battle of Visegrad and would be the first engagement in the much larger Battle of Reach. So let's take a moment to understand what this engagement looks like, as this would have happened on the 23rd and the 24th of July 2552. Following the Battle of Sigma Octantis IV, and now knowing the location of Reach, the Covenant started sending forces to sort of scout out Reach as a potential target for future attacks. And one of the goals of these scouting parties was to disrupt human communications in between Reach and other planets under their control. That's why the Visegrad relay was specifically targeted. It was a key communication node that allowed the UNSC officials on Reach to communicate with other UNSC worlds. So the Covenant's objective was to knock this relay out. And that's exactly what Covenant forces did on July 23rd when they arrived at Visegrad and basically overran the Marine garrison in the area and shut down and then did some significant damage to the workings of the Visegrad communications relay. Now, the initial belief by UNSC leadership in the area was that this attack was perpetrated by insurrectionists, who had been a particular problem around that point in time. They had stolen a few ships a few weeks earlier, so an attack like this isn't out of their scope. So the initial thought was that this was an insurrectionist attack. However, after a team was sent to investigate, it was quickly realized that this was actually a Covenant scouting party. This event is what we play in the first mission of Halo Reach, a mission that's known as Winter Contingency, because that is the protocol that is enacted when Covenant forces arrive on a planet for the first time. At this point, what we're seeing is that the Visegrad relay has been attacked by Covenant forces and then liberated by a Spartan team, Noble team, which has dispatched the Covenant troops that were dispatched to this relay. In this Covenant strike force, though, and I think it's interesting to note, it was led by a few Covenant zealots who were particularly noteworthy artifact hunters. They were tasked with hunting Forerunner artifacts, so it's believed that one of the sort of side objectives of the Covenant force sent to the Visegrad relay was to decipher Forerunner signals that had been transmitted through that relay by Oni operatives, which may explain the presence of those artifact hunting zealots. So the Battle of Visegrad is kind of another one that has a shaky conclusion. While Covenant forces would eventually be forced away from the relay, taking very heavy casualties, they did manage to successfully disable the relay in a way that would leave it down for weeks and would prevent clean communication in between Reach and the rest of the UNSC. However, communication could still be relayed through other sources in the area. It would be a lot more complicated. Furthermore, the Covenant forces that attacked the relay weren't done with their operations on Reach, as just a few days later they would carry out an assault on Oni's sword base with the objective of disabling that key facility and likely seizing Forerunner data that had been stored there. So while the Battle of Visegrad wasn't this hugely impactful event, it was really the beginning of the Battle of Reach. It was one of those little engagements that would ultimately snowball into something much larger. After all, this Covenant scouting force would eventually lead to the much larger battles we see later on. This is just the start of the Battle of Reach, which occurred immediately following the Battle of Sigma Octantis IV. If you'd like to learn what the results of Sigma Octantis IV meant for Reach and how that kind of led to the end of the war, I'll leave a link up here to my video about the immediate eve of the Battle of Reach and sort of what led us to this point. And I'd like you to let me know down in the comments whether you think it was smart for the UNSC to design the infrastructure on Reach to have a single communications node handling a majority of the communications, or do you think it would have been smarter to build multiple nodes? After all, while that's more logistically complicated, it's more robust against attack from both insurrectionists and the Covenant. And if you have anything else you'd like to see me cover in Halo, Star Wars, or anywhere else in science fiction, you can let me know down below in the comments. Last but not least, if you enjoyed this video, head down below, hit the like button, the subscribe button, and the bell icon so you get notified when I upload new videos. So for Sci-Fi Deep Dive, I'm Colin, and I will see you next time.